It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
I come before you today, a tattered and beat down soul. The Sean Widmer Podcast. I think this is the last episode. I don't think we can do it anymore. Man, oh man. If you didn't like yesterday's podcast, you're not going to like today's. What a fun one. Every now and then this happens in the world of creativity. You make something you think is enjoyable and I like making, and then it just gets dunked on. Totally dunked on. And so yesterday's podcast was about just a silly observation about water balloons, right? And the fact that I do think kids don't have to make their own water balloons anymore. Parents are doing them. They're filling them up 100 at a time. And their water balloons are no longer as special as they used to be because you can mass produce them. Anyways, it's just a lot of fun. So I posted a clip of it on social media. Now, I do this from time to time and things normally go pretty well, but you're going to run into the moment that's going to make you figure out if you have thick skin or not. Now, I am thankful that I've been in the world of creative audio, whether it's podcasting since 2005 or radio since 2004. I've been critiqued up and down. It doesn't take the sting away all the way, but at some point you just get thick enough skin to go, look, there's people out there, and I do it every now and then. There's the trolls out there who are going to come for you. They're going to come for you. And they came. Now, Instagram, I posted it on Instagram. I would say about 90% of the comments on Instagram, friendly, nice, understanding, enjoyed it. But the world of TikTok was like, you are the dumbest person ever. So let's read some of the comments, shall we? Because that is where I truly enjoy living. Let's see what we got here. Okay, here we go. Let's read some comments. This is about the water balloon take from yesterday. Here we go. Oh, hey, I got to turn the sound down. Let's start with this one right now. Right here. This is from Jim Leader. We have to regulate podcasting. What is this slop? All right, that's the first one. It was followed up by this one from Mike DVFXH8B. Says, yeah, we need to raise the cost. Hang on. Professionalism. Hey, Mike D, only professionalism. Unedited sneezes. Okay. Says, yeah, we need to raise the cost of podcast equipment and charge them every time they click post. C-Note said this, buddy, not everyone needs a podcast. So they came at me. I think there was a couple on Instagram. Let's see what the Instagram negative ones were. Most of them on Instagram were nice, but let's see what were the negative ones, because I enjoy these. This is what happens when you do this kind of stuff. This is the stuff you have to deal with. That's why we don't care. Let's see. Here we go. Lord Kuragari says, steak too juicy, lobster too buttery. Now, I want to make sure it's understood that on the thumbnail for the video, I released the thumbnail says, all right, just to get ahead of this, because I thought this was interesting. The thumbnail says, my old man rant about water balloons in 2026. All right. So I understand this is old man yelling at clouds, but it didn't stop people from reiterating the caption. Let's see. I think there's another one. Oh, yeah. This is from Spad on I Mike. Says, you're overthinking it. Okay. And then this one from B1776K. Worst boomer B word ever. All right. So that's what happened yesterday. Now, today's is not going to be any better. If you didn't like yesterday's, you're not going to like today's. Because today's was an exercise that I did that I think could be fun for you to do. I mentioned the other day, Switchfoot has a new album out, and I really enjoy it. They have a song, The Butterfly Effect, which I really like. It's probably my favorite song on the album right now. And so I've been listening to it, and it's a song about the butterfly effect. Like, if this guy had woken up in the morning, he had a cough, if he had stayed home from work, he wouldn't have then got into this car crash that he dies in the song if he had stayed home from work, right? So how the butterfly effect of how things go. You make one decision, it affects everything down the line. And in this song, it talks about I need to look if this is real. I'm going to do a little Googling on the fly. This is again, this is Mike D and whatever this other guy was, B1776K on Instagram. Like, they would hate this. Does your brain keep working after you die? Let's see here. I want to say this is accurate. 7 minutes. See what it says here. For a brief period after your heart stops, clinically called cardiac arrest, the brain continues to working for several minutes. While you lose consciousness within seconds as blood and oxygen stop flowing, your neurons remain briefly alive and active. So I don't know. So they have in their song, they're like, okay, well, what happens in that 7 minutes, right? And I'm sure that scientifically this isn't right, but this is part of the fun of the song and led to my experiment. 7 minutes. And then they say, okay, so there's these 7 minutes happening for this guy who's dying. His body has quit, and now his brain is all that's left. And it's the comment, my life flashed before my eyes, because it's insinuating that he's got this time where his body is dead and his brain realizes it, and now his life is flashing before his eyes. So I did an exercise. Now, I didn't do 7 minutes. I did 5 minutes. I said, okay, I'm going to sit in peace and quiet, and for 5 minutes, this is so morbid, but it was an interesting exercise. For 5 minutes, I'm going to let my life flash before my eyes. What do I think of in 5 minutes? So I set a timer, I closed my eyes, and I just thought of, I was like, what would my life, like, let's let my life flash before my eyes. Now, my brain works at 1,000,000 miles per hour, so it was very hard for me to focus, because I was like, well, I started out by thinking, well, I don't want to start at my childhood and spend too much time there and not get to the current days. And so then my brain started bouncing back and forth. But after like 30 seconds, I was like, okay, just go back and think, like, what would happen if my life flashed before my eyes? What are the things I think of? And it was like, lived on a farm with my mom and dad and my sister, had a great time. There was a door at the top of the stairs for some reason at this farmhouse that if you opened it, it just went off the building to nothing. I don't know why that happened. Why second story door with no balcony. Truly, if you opened it, you just fell to your death. Okay. That would have been a quick flash before my eyes, because I was only 3 or 4. Then I thought, okay, we moved to Costa Rica. We moved to Venezuela. I had some Venezuela memories like come up, and it was like I think about the memories were like playing kickball was the first thing, playing capture the flag. I remember doing Nerf gun wars. And then it was heavy basketball. I thought of the different places I played basketball as I was just letting, what were the big memories of my life? A fallout with a bunch of people. This was one of the things I thought about, and I thought, okay, this is why this exercise is interesting. I had a fallout my senior year of high school. I was student body president, and a menial discussion came up, and the student body government was me. It was Kenny Beefus, my best buddy, and like 6 or 7 gals at our school. And there was like this, I could feel it. One of the gals didn't like me, and there was like this uprising of, we're going to kick the guy out of Patricia. I'm just going to call a spade a spade. Patricia was coming for me. And another gal was coming for me as well. They were coming for me. And so they teamed up on me, and were just trying to get under my skin. And Kenny turned on me and sided with all of them. And I was like, this is ridiculous. And it was over menial stuff, right? But I was just like, everything I was trying to do was getting undercut. And I was just so tired of it. And finally, this was the last thing where I'm like, look, why am I even here? You guys don't want me here. You obviously are trying to get me out of here. And so I just left. I left, and I took my basketball. I took my ball and went home. I took my basketball. I went to a basketball court, and I played basketball for 3 hours with a bunch of guys. That was one of the things that flashed in my brain. Then it went to the States, and it was Preston Carroll heavy. My buddy Preston, who I lived with for a couple years when I was in my 20s, and just loved those times. I thought of a party we had where a guy who wanted to call himself Neo because he was in a big black trench coat came in and wrestled one of our buddies, and then he wrestled another random guy who was just in our house, and they wrestled into the couch and broke our couch in half. So that memory came up. Grand Theft Auto, playing that with buddies, came up, and then it was a run of a couple girlfriends, and okay, what did I do with this one girlfriend? What were some of the activities we did? And it was I watched Alias, the show Alias, with another gal, and then it was Ryan, Jordan, and I'm trying to remember them because I was going to write them down. I didn't. I should have written them down. Ryan, Jordan, and I went to Walmart late at night and would buy Nerf guns and do Nerf gun wars at the radio station. I got into radio station stuff. It was weird though, because as I did this thing and as time was running out, I finally caught up to where I am now. And it was like great. The exercise was great because I have all these great memories from being younger. And the things that made me smile the most were like at the end of this little process when it was like Anna enters and like I just thought of fun things we did in LA. And then when she would come visit in Spokane and we'd go patio, like little afternoon drinking on a patio, or we'd go on a walk or a hike and just hanging out. And like I had a lot of good memories there. And then of course the kids enter the picture, and they truly were like the things where I was smiling, actively smiling while I was doing this exercise. Like, Huck, you're crazy, man. Olivia, I love when you do this. This family activity is so fun. So that was a good thing. That was a good thing, but it was a fun exercise. I'd say do it. Maybe write the stuff down, but it was fun. So there you go. There's my stuff for today. Hey, look, I'm just proving the point today that, is my phone going to die? I'm just proving the point today that C-Note, what is this? Ton of clay say heyo. Ton of clay say heyo. Just proving the point that they made on TikTok, buddy. Not everyone needs a podcast. I can't even read. Buddy, not everyone needs a podcast. I really don't like when people call me buddy. There was a guy. So Olivia's on a basketball team, and I don't know why I'm just not getting along with people in some of these situations. But one of the guys who is a dad of another kid on the team, I'm like, okay, just try to make some friends with the people who are dads of other kids. And so one of them was walking into the gym, and I opened the door for him and his kid, and he goes, buddy, I appreciate that. And the second he said it, I was like, screw off, dude. I hope you trip and fall into the second door. There's no way buddy is not condescending. No one is calling anyone buddy friendly. You say buddy to be a jerk. And so I got buddied, and I was like, why? So I got buddied by this guy too. Maybe this is the same guy. Maybe this is that guy. I'll have to find out at the next basketball game I'm at. All right, there you go. Thanks for listening.